In the quiet village of Makhanda, a young girl named Asante grows up hearing the same painful words again and again. The elders say girls don't deserve education, and their sharp voices make her hide her feelings behind a small, shaky laugh so no one sees how much it hurts. Even at home, she hears the same message. Her parents tell her to stay close to her mother, learn chores, and forget about school books. They say studying is only for boys, and every time they repeat it, she feels something inside her sink a little. Still, she keeps her dream tucked safely in her heart, even when it feels impossible. While washing clothes or sweeping the yard, she imagines herself reading stories, writing her name, and understanding the world beyond the village paths. Sometimes she touches an old broken pencil she found near the road and smiles softly to herself, wondering what life would look like if she could learn like the boys who run past her with notebooks in their hands. Each day she pushes down her sadness and pretends she doesn't care, but deep inside she wishes someone would look at her and say she deserves a chance. Whenever Asante sneaks near the school fence, she moves like a shadow, careful that no one sees her. She hides behind the tall grass and the old tree stump, pressing her hands to her chest as if that will quiet her racing heart. The moment she hears the children reciting lessons, something warm and soft rises inside her, the kind of feeling that makes her eyes shine even though she tries hard to hide it. The voices of the students blend together like music. They read out loud, count numbers, and repeat words she wishes she could say too. She closes her eyes for a moment and imagines herself sitting among them, holding a book of her own, raising her hand to answer questions. Sometimes she even whispers along with them, matching her lips to their sound even if she doesn't know the meaning of every word. When she opens her eyes again, she watches the boys her age walking proudly with their notebooks pressed to their chests, their faces full of confidence. She watches how they laugh with each other, talk about the lessons, and hurry inside before the bell rings. She wonders what it feels like to walk through that gate without fear, without anyone telling her she does not belong. But in Makhanda, dreams like hers are seen as foolish. Some villagers catch her near the fence and laugh at her as if her hope is a joke. They shake their heads, saying a girl wanting to study is like trying to touch the moon. Their words cut her deeply, and she forces herself to smile so they don't see the pain that stings behind her eyes. She nods politely and pretends their insults don't matter, but the moment she is alone, she lets her smile fade and her shoulders drop. Later at night, when the house is quiet and everyone sleeps, she lies on her thin mat staring at the roof. The darkness feels heavy and the silence gives her no place to hide. Her tears slip out slowly, rolling down her temples. She cries quietly so no one hears, pressing her palms over her mouth to silence the sobs. She cries because she wants something she is told she cannot have. She cries because her dream feels both close and far at the same time. But even on those nights, even with tears on her cheeks, she refuses to let go of the small fire inside her. She holds it close like a secret treasure. She promises herself that she will not let the world take it away. She thinks of the school fence, the chalkboard she has only seen from a distance, the sound of children repeating words with bright voices. She thinks of the notebooks boys carry proudly and imagines herself holding one too, flipping through pages full of handwriting she understands. Her dream burns in her chest, warm and stubborn, refusing to dim. And each morning she wakes up with the same quiet promise. She will sneak to the fence again. She will listen again. She will hope again, even if people mock her, even if it makes her cry, even if she has to pretend she feels nothing. Because deep inside, she knows something they do not. She knows she is meant for more than chores and silence and staying small. She knows the world is bigger than the village paths she sweeps. She knows her heart beats differently when she hears children learning, and that feeling is too strong to ignore. So every day, whenever she gets a chance, she returns to that fence, hiding between the shadows and the sunlight, eyes wide and full of longing, ready to catch every sound, every word, every tiny piece of knowledge that slips through the classroom window. And with every visit, the dream inside her grows stronger, brighter, too alive to be crushed, no matter how hard the world tries. One afternoon, while Asante is hiding near the classroom window as usual, she thinks no one will notice her. She stands on her toes, gripping the edge of the wall, trying to catch a glimpse of the chalkboard. Her heart beats fast, the way it always does when she is this close to the world she wants so badly. She leans closer, hoping to hear another line of the lesson. Then she freezes. Someone is watching her. She pulls back quickly, ready to run, but before she can take a single step, she hears a calm voice behind her. It is Mr. Dumo, the village teacher. Instead of shouting or scolding her like she expects, he smiles gently. His eyes are kind, the kind that make her feel seen in a way she has never felt before. He asks her softly why she is hiding. Asante opens her mouth to answer, but the words get stuck in her throat. She lowers her eyes, afraid of disappointing him. He studies her for a moment, then motions for her to come inside. She hesitates at the doorway, unsure if she is allowed to step into a place she has only dreamed about. But his warm smile gives her courage, and she slowly enters the classroom, feeling as if she is stepping into another world. Mr. Dumo walks to a shelf and picks up an old, torn book. The edges are frayed and the cover is faded, but to Asante it looks like treasure. He places it gently in her hands and tells her to read the first line. Her heart jumps. No one has ever asked her to read anything before. She holds the book carefully, afraid it might fall apart in her fingers. She looks at the letters, and for a moment everything feels too big, too scary. Her voice shakes as she tries to read. She stumbles on the first word, then tries again, slower this time. Mr. Dumo stands beside her silently, his presence steady like a comforting hand even when he does not touch her. She takes a deep breath and tries once more. This time her voice does not tremble as much. The words begin to make sense. She moves to the next line and then the next. Something inside her shifts as she reads. It feels like a door opening. Mr. Dumo lets out a small, surprised laugh. It is not a laugh that makes fun of her. It is the sound someone makes when they find something precious where they never expected it. He tells her she read faster than many of his students the first time they tried. His praise is so gentle it almost makes her cry. She looks up at him with wide eyes, unsure if she heard him correctly. No one has ever praised her for anything like this. No one has ever believed she could learn. Her hands shake again, but for a different reason this time. Hope. A new kind of hope, bright and alive. Mr. Dumo encourages her to try another line, and she does. This time her voice steadies even more. She feels a strange excitement building inside her, a feeling she has never felt so strongly before. It feels like something fierce has been awakened, like a spark that has finally found air. When she finishes reading, she hugs the book to her chest without thinking. Mr. Dumo notices and smiles again. He tells her she may come back whenever she wants. The offer is simple, but to Asante it feels like someone has placed the entire sky into her hands. As she walks out of the classroom, the late afternoon sun touches her face, and everything around her feels different. The air smells sweeter, the colors look brighter. Her steps feel lighter, almost floating. She holds the torn book like a secret piece of magic. That moment becomes the turning point of her life. The moment her dream stops being a quiet wish and becomes something real, something burning, something she will fight for, even if the whole village stands against her. Asante begins learning secretly under the big mango tree behind the school, a place hidden enough that no one pays attention. Every afternoon, when the sun rests high in the sky and most villagers are busy with chores, she slips away with her small pile of books. She always checks over her shoulder, making sure no one is watching. Her heart beats fast each time she walks toward the tree, but the moment she sits down and opens a book, her fear melts a little. The shade of the branches feels safe, like the tree itself is guarding her dream. She spreads her notebook across her lap and traces each letter slowly, repeating the sounds in a quiet whisper. Sometimes her hands shake, not because the words are hard, but because she knows what will happen if anyone finds out. Still, she keeps going. She hides her books under firewood behind the house, pushing them so deep that even she struggles to reach them. Each time she pulls the firewood aside to take them out, she worries someone will hear the sound. Sweat runs down her temples, partly from the heat, partly from fear. When she hears footsteps passing by, she freezes completely, holding her breath until the person walks away. Every day feels like a secret mission. She studies quickly, flipping through pages before someone calls her name. She practices writing words in the dust, rubbing them away with her foot whenever she thinks someone might come. Learning feels dangerous, but it also feels like freedom. One afternoon, when she comes home from the mango tree, her mother waits for her near the firewood pile. The moment Asante sees her mother's eyes narrow, her heart sinks. Her mother pulls out the notebooks she thought were well hidden, holding them like proof of a crime. Asante's breath catches in her throat. She knows what is coming. Her mother's voice rises, filled with anger and disappointment. She scolds Asante harshly, asking why she disobeys, why she wastes time on things that are not meant for girls, why she cannot just listen. Each sentence hits her like a heavy stone. Asante tries to explain, but the words crumble in her mouth. She lowers her head as tears start falling, her shoulders shaking. Her mother's voice grows sharper, and Asante feels smaller and smaller until she finally breaks. She cries openly, the kind of crying that hurts in the chest. She feels guilty, scared, ashamed, and lost all at once. That night she lies awake, staring at the roof. Her chest tightens every time she remembers her mother's angry face. She thinks about giving up. She thinks about stopping. Maybe her mother is right. Maybe her dream is foolish. Maybe she should just accept her life as it is. But then she remembers the classroom, the chalkboard, the feel of the book in her hands, and the sound of her own voice reading out loud. She remembers how alive she felt. Those memories hold her together when everything else feels like it's falling apart. The next day, she walks to school slowly, unsure if she should even go near the fence again. She feels heavy, like the world is pressing down on her shoulders. But when she reaches the back of the school, she sees Mr. Dumo waiting under the mango tree with the same old gentle smile. He greets her softly, as if he already knows what happened. He doesn't scold her or ask why she looks sad. Instead, he hands her the torn book she loves so much and tells her he is proud of her for being brave. His voice is steady and calm, and something inside her loosens. She tries to smile, but it comes out small and shaky. Still, it is real. For the first time since her mother's scolding, she feels a little light returning to her. Mr. Dumo encourages her again, reminding her that learning is not a mistake and that her dream is worth fighting for. His words wrap around her like comfort. Asante wipes her eyes and nods slowly. In that moment she decides she will not stop. Not for the villagers, not for fear, not even for the tears she cried. She will keep learning, even if she has to hide it, even if every day feels like a risk. Because now the fire inside her is too bright to put out. When Asante reaches her teenage years, everything in her life becomes heavier. Her family decides she is old enough to work, so they arrange a job for her as a cleaner at the nearby trading post. The first morning she walks there, she feels the weight of it in her chest. The trading post is crowded, noisy, and always busy. She spends hours sweeping dusty floors, washing wooden counters, and carrying crates that are almost too heavy for her thin arms. Sometimes her back aches so much she has to stop and press her hand against the wall just to breathe. But even as her body grows tired, her mind refuses to stop dreaming. Every time she gets a short break, she rushes to a quiet corner behind the storeroom, pulls out her small notebook hidden inside her cloth bag, and begins to study. Her fingers ache from scrubbing floors and her eyes blur from the smoke and dust, but she still forces herself to read line by line, word by word. She knows the other workers think she is strange. Some whisper behind her back, saying she is wasting her time, saying a girl like her should focus on work, not school. She hears their voices floating around her like sharp stones. Even customers laugh when they see her writing on scraps of paper during lunch. They say things like, "Books won't feed you," or "Who do you think you are?" Their words sting deep, but she hides the pain with a small smile. Sometimes she even jokes back lightly, pretending their comments don't touch her. She laughs so they won't see the hurt sitting quietly behind her eyes. When she turns away, though, the smile fades and her breath grows tight. But she doesn't stop. She continues studying every single day. At night, when she comes home tired and sore, she still opens her notebook before sleeping. The dim lantern light flickers over the pages while she writes slowly, forcing her tired hand to keep moving. Her mother reminds her to sleep early, and her father asks why she wastes so much time on words she'll never use. Their disappointment weighs on her, but she nods politely and hides her notebook under her blanket until the house becomes quiet. Only then does she sit up again, eyes sleepy but determined, reading the same line again and again until it finally makes sense. At the trading post, she begins to memorize lessons while she works. As she scrubs floors, she repeats multiplication tables in her head. While she wipes shelves, she practices spelling. While carrying crates, she whispers sentences under her breath. Learning becomes part of every movement she makes. She turns her whole life into a classroom no one can see. Sometimes other workers tease her openly. One boy who stacks bags of grain often smirks at her and asks, "So, you want to be a big city madam?" Another woman laughs loudly whenever she sees Asante writing, telling everyone around her that Asante thinks she's smarter than all of them. Asante feels her face heat up each time. Her throat tightens and she wants to disappear, but she smiles anyway. She says something light or playful, pretending she finds their teasing funny. Then she walks away quickly, blinking away the tears that threaten to fall. The only thing that keeps her strong is the small fire inside her, the fire that started the day Mr. Dumo handed her the torn book. She remembers how proud he looked, how his smile warmed her heart. And every time she feels like giving up, she remembers those moments and the way learning made her feel alive. Some evenings when she finishes work early, she walks by the school fence again. She watches the schoolchildren laughing, holding their books, reading out loud. She stands quietly in the shadows, letting their voices remind her why she keeps fighting. She imagines herself in a classroom again, answering questions, reading stories, learning without fear. The dream feels far sometimes, but she never lets it die. No matter how much people laugh, no matter how much her body aches, she keeps pushing herself. Because deep inside, she knows she is not wasting her time. She is building her future, one tired but determined step at a time. Her path is hard, lonely, and full of pain, but she believes that one day her effort will bloom into something bigger than anything the villagers ever imagined. And that belief keeps her going, even on the days when her hands shake and her heart feels heavy. After many years of studying in the shadows, Asante decides she is ready for something bigger. She knows the villagers will laugh, and her parents will tell her she's dreaming too high, so she keeps everything quiet. One night after everyone falls asleep, she sits on the floor with a small candle and fills out the exam form for Rwanda City. Her hands shake the whole time. She writes slowly, afraid she'll make a mistake, but also feeling a strange excitement rising inside her. When she finishes, she folds the paper carefully and hides it under her clothes. The next morning, she sneaks out early and walks miles to the small post office. She hands the form to the clerk with trembling fingers, hoping he won't ask any questions. When he stamps it, she almost bursts into tears. It feels unreal. She is finally taking a step toward the life she has dreamed of for so long. Weeks pass, and every day she wakes up wondering if she made the right choice. She worries she will fail, worries people will laugh even harder when they find out she dared to try. But she keeps pushing those thoughts away. She reminds herself of the late nights under the candlelight, the moments she whispered lessons while cleaning floors, the countless pages she read until her eyes burned. All of it has to mean something. Then one morning, a man from the city brings a small brown envelope with her name written on it. Asante freezes. She feels the whole world stop. Her hands shake so much she almost drops the envelope. Her heart beats so loudly she can hear it in her ears. She holds the envelope close to her chest, afraid to open it, afraid to see the worst. Her mother and father stand nearby, watching her with confused eyes. They have no idea what is inside, no idea what this moment means to her. Finally, with her breath caught in her throat, she slips a finger under the seal and opens it slowly. Her eyes move to the first line and everything around her disappears. The word past jumps out at her like a burst of light. For a second she can't breathe. Then a sound escapes her, a loud, joyful, shocked laugh, the kind of laugh she has never made before. It bursts out of her so suddenly that even the goats tied outside run in fear, their bells jingling wildly. She laughs again, louder this time, holding the letter to her chest as tears of joy fall down her face. Her mother stares in confusion. Her father steps back, speechless. Asante can't stop smiling. She did it. After all the nights she cried quietly, all the times people mocked her, all the moments she wanted to give up, she passed. Not only that, the letter says she has won a scholarship. A real scholarship that will pay for her studies in the city. She reads the line over and over again, afraid it might disappear if she looks away. Her father turns suddenly and faces the wall, pretending to fix a basket. But Asante sees the way his shoulders shake. She sees him wipe his eyes quickly. He doesn't want her to witness his tears, but she knows. He is proud of her, more proud than he can ever say out loud. The day she leaves for the city feels like stepping into another world. She packs her small bag, the same one she used to hide her notebooks in. Her mother fusses over her clothes, tying the straps again and again. Her father stays quiet, avoiding her eyes, but when she steps toward the bus, he reaches out and touches her shoulder gently. It is the softest touch he has ever given her. She looks at him, and he quickly turns his face away to hide the emotion rising inside him. She can see the shine in his eyes even if he tries to look strong. Asante climbs onto the bus, her heart full and trembling. She sits by the window, holding the letter in her lap. As the bus engine starts, she watches her village fade slowly into the distance. The wind blows through the window, touching her face like a promise. She presses her palm to the glass and whispers to herself that this is only the beginning. For the first time in her life, she is not just dreaming. She is moving toward the future she fought so hard to reach. City life hits Asante harder than she ever expected. The moment she steps off the bus in Rwanda City, she feels small compared to the tall buildings, the rushing crowds, and the loud traffic that never seems to stop. Everything moves fast. Everyone looks like they know where they're going. She clutches her bag tightly and tells herself not to be scared, but inside her heart is shaking. She finds a tiny room to rent, smaller than the storeroom at the trading post. The walls are thin, the roof leaks when it rains, and the bed creaks every time she sits on it. Still, she forces herself to smile because this room means she is one step closer to her dream. Her days become long and tiring. She attends classes from morning to afternoon, then rushes to her part-time cleaning job in the evenings. After work, she buys the cheapest food she can find, usually just rice or bread. Some nights she goes to sleep hungry because she needs to save money for books and rent. Her stomach growls loudly in the dark, but she tells herself she can endure it. She has endured worse. When she sits down to study, her eyes burn from exhaustion. The words on the page blur and she blinks hard to clear them. Sometimes the tiredness overwhelms her so much that tears fall without warning, dripping onto her open books. She wipes them quickly before the pages get wet, whispering to herself that she must keep going. Each hardship, she reminds herself, is shaping her future. There are days she feels like giving up. Days when she walks back to her room with her legs shaking, her back aching, and her mind drowning in doubt. She wonders if she made a mistake leaving the village. She wonders if she truly belongs here. When the pressure becomes too heavy, she sits on the edge of her bed, pulls her knees close, and lets the quiet tears fall until her breath steadies again. But even on those nights, she refuses to quit. She repeats her promise to herself. I didn't come this far to stop now. Those words keep her standing when everything else feels like it's falling apart. Slowly, her classmates begin to notice her determination. At first, she is too shy to talk to anyone, afraid they'll think she is strange or too quiet. But one girl named Lena approaches her after class, smiling warmly and asking if she wants to study together. Asante feels nervous but agrees. Soon, a few more students join them. They are surprised to learn how hard Asante works, how many jobs she juggles, and how late she studies every night. Instead of looking down on her, they admire her. They tell her she inspires them. Their words feel like sunlight warming places inside her she didn't know were cold. They start inviting her to sit with them during lunch breaks. They share snacks when she can't afford her own. They joke around, tease her gently, and laugh loudly at things she never thinks are that funny, but their laughter is contagious. Sometimes they tease her about how serious she looks while studying, calling her Professor Asante. At first she blushes and hides her face, but then she laughs too, shy and soft, feeling a happiness she hasn't felt in years. These small moments pull her away from the darkness she carries. One evening, after a very long day, Asante sits with her new friends under a big tree on campus. They talk about their dreams, their fears, and their families. When it's her turn to speak, she hesitates, then tells them everything: the village, the chores, the teasing, the secret studying, the scholarship, the pain, the hope. Her voice shakes as she speaks, but no one laughs. No one mocks her. Instead, they listen closely, their eyes full of respect. One boy pats her shoulder and says, "You're the strongest person I know." She looks down, embarrassed, but inside her heart feels warm and full. This support becomes her strength. Whenever she feels herself sinking into loneliness, one of her friends pulls her out of it with a joke or a playful comment. Whenever she doubts herself, they remind her how far she has come. Their kindness becomes a small light in the dark tunnel she is walking through. The city still challenges her every day: the rent, the hunger, the endless studying. But now she has people who laugh with her, talk with her, and cheer her on. And every time she laughs with them, even a tiny shy laugh, she feels more alive. She realizes she is no longer fighting alone. She is building a new life, step by step, with determination in her hands and hope growing in her heart. She knows the journey is hard, but she also knows it will rewrite her entire future. And that thought keeps her going, no matter how heavy the days become. Years later, Asante steps off the bus and walks into Makhanda wearing a bright graduation gown that shines under the sun. The moment the villagers see her, everything goes quiet. Children stop playing, women pause their work, and even the men who once laughed at her fall into stunned silence. No one has ever seen a girl from their village dressed like this. Asante stands there, her heart beating fast, unsure what to expect. Then her mother pushes through the crowd, her hands shaking as she reaches out to touch the soft fabric of the gown. She lets out a small emotional laugh, the kind that breaks into tears halfway through. She pulls Asante close, her voice trembling with pride. Her father stands behind her, clearing his throat, pretending he isn't wiping his eyes. One by one, the same villagers who once mocked her now step forward with smiles. They clap, cheer, and call her name as if she is a hero returning home. Some of them apologize quietly, some simply whisper, "We were wrong," and others just stare in awe. Asante feels a warm wave of emotion wash over her. She never imagined this moment, yet here she is, standing tall as the first and only graduate in her entire family. Soon after, she uses her scholarship savings and help from Mr. Dumo to open a small learning center under the mango tree where her dream first began. Girls from all around the village come running with excitement, holding books close to their chests. Asante watches them with a soft smile, her heart full. She sees in their eyes the same bright hope she once hid under firewood, and she knows her journey has come full circle.